According to the religion of Islam, Jesus was one of the greatest messengers of God and was the last messenger before the Prophet Muhammad. Now, there are, however, many lessons that Muslims believe can be learned from Jesus based on the Islamic perspective. Welcome back, guys, to FTD Facts. Leroy Kenton here, and this episode is going to be an interesting one because I'll be sharing 10 biggest lessons from Jesus in Islam. There are tons more lessons to learn, but in a video like this, I can only fit 10, so stick around until the end. I don't want you to miss any of them. All right, so starting off with number 10, stick with the truth. Now, this is a very important lesson that Muslims take from Jesus, and it's that even if few people are practicing the religion of Islam, you should still practice it, regardless of what your surroundings look like. Even if the followers are few, it doesn't mean that it is not true. Truth is based on the idea, not on the number of followers that that idea has. Step number 9, blessings in being a prophet. Jesus mentions that he has been given the scripture and that he has been made a prophet and that he is blessed wherever he is. So when Muslims look at this really tells them that the closer that a person is to the scripture that God has sent down, and based on how close they are to the ways of the prophets, well, they too will be blessed wherever they are. The key thing here to earning the blessings from God and having a blessed existence on this planet is really your relationship with the scriptures and the ways of the prophets. Number 8 brings us to don't look at the numbers. So we kind of talked about this, but it's known that many people actually didn't even follow the call of Jesus. That didn't necessarily mean that he wasn't successful, though. See, the hearts of the people are in the hands of God. Only God really can control that and bring conviction to people. So Muslims are only to convey the message. They can't convince people. And that is why, despite the few numbers of immediate followers, Jesus has been one of the 5 greatest prophets in history, according to Islam. Moving on to number 7, honor in being a slave. Now, I know what you're thinking, guys. Slave, how can there be any honor in that? But due to the way that humans have treated other people, well, the word slavery comes with a lot of negative connotations. Islam, however, came to take people from being slaves to other people and to be enslaved to God. Now, the greatest honor for any human being is to willingly enslave themselves to God. And God is the master, he decides, and you obey. He's the one who gives you everything and asks for very little in return. The word slave, by the way, can also be translated as servant, so some people are more comfortable using that term. Either way, you're saying the same thing. Now, as his slaves, aka servants, that's a Muslim's most important identity, being a slave or servant of God. Number 6 brings us to this point. The straight path is simple, like literally very simple. Muslims say that you actually don't need to complicate anything because the straight path is very, very simple, easy to follow. It is this: God is the Lord and you obey him. That is a straight path. Now, there's a passage in the Quran found in Surah 3, verse 51 that says this: be mindful of God and obey me. Allah, God, is my Lord and your Lord, so serve him. This is the straight path. Now, before I get into the last 5 lessons that you can take from Jesus according to Islam, I just want to take this time to mention our members here on FTD Facts who help us out with monthly contributions every single month. You guys continue to help us produce videos like this. We're able to produce more videos, higher quality videos. So honestly, big shout out to everybody who is supporting us. And if you aren't an FTD Facts member already, I'll provide the link below where you can join the FTD Facts family and help us out with monthly contributions. You continue to help us to reach more people with the information that we share in our videos. Let's move on to number 5. Success is based on taqwa. Now, the term taqwa, by the way, means God consciousness or piety. Some people also use the term religiosity, but the Prophet Muhammad had these words to say about this. Taqwa is here, while pointing at his chest. This is what Jesus says as well. Be mindful of God. And as a matter of fact, the best and easiest way to keep your mind on God in your everyday life is at every single step that you take, you ask yourself, will God be pleased with me for doing this or saying this or thinking this? Moving on to number 4, love and respect for your mother. This is a huge one. Jesus, as busy as he was, he found time to mention that he has been made dutiful to his mother. Now, many scholars of Islam teach that there is no other person more important in your lives than your mother. No relationship is more sacred. No one is more deserving of our love and obedience. And some say that actually that person is your spouse. That's the most important personal relationship to have. But either way, the love and your respect for your mother must always be there. And that's also a lesson that we learn from Jesus according to Islam. Good manners comes in the number 3 spot. Jesus said that he is not domineering and graceless. And the Prophet Muhammad had these words to say: "Nothing is heavier on the balance of good deeds on the day of judgment than good manners." So among the greatest of the deeds that can be counted towards you is to have good manners. It's also very important because even though people said very horrible things about Jesus's mother, well, he responded with grace and authority that was not demeaning at all to anyone. He didn't respond with fire meeting fire. He responded with bad words with beautiful words. Next, I want to look at actions based on knowledge. Jesus was the best human at his time, and he knew the scripture and he knew that he was a prophet, and yet immediately afterwards he mentions that he has been commanded to pray and to give charity. So you see, knowing leads to action, and this is Islam in a nutshell. It teaches people to act based on what they know, not to just know. What's the use of being all religious up here in your brain when you're not religious out there in your actions? Now, I want to end this episode off, number 1, with serve people and God. Islam combines spirituality and practicality. God ordered Jesus to pray for his own spiritual benefit and to have a connection with God, and also to give to charity, which was also for spiritual benefit, but also to have a connection with the people as well as with God. Islam is a very humanitarian religion, and it combines spirituality with practicality, and this is a very big lesson learned from Jesus in Islam. You have a connection with God, that benefits you. You help other people, that also benefits you, but also benefits others as well. So it's literally like a nice charitable cycle that continues in the religion of Islam. And that brings us to the end of this episode. This was a look at 10 biggest lessons from Jesus according to Islam. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one and found it useful, informative, entertaining. As always, I want to hear your thoughts and comments about this down below. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in another episode, and I look forward to seeing you in another FTD Facts episode where we share facts and information about the various different countries, cultures, religions, and people of our world. All right, guys, till next time, stay awesome, stay educated, see you soon.